Welcome back to the next Organometallics video. In this one, we're going to be covering organocuprates. And so as the name suggests, we're going to be using copper as our metal. Now, this reaction is extremely useful in synthesis because we can synthesize single bonds. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to first look at the general reaction. So we have to start out with some sort of lithium compound connected to a alkyl group. So my R, right, that's just some R group, and my lithium. Now the R group here has to be a primary alkyl group. So gotta be primary. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to react it with copper bound to iodine. All right. So what this is going to give us is it's going to give us this weird looking intermediate. We have a lithium, and it's going to have these two R groups now bound to our copper. Oh, sorry. Right. And so what happens is two of these guys, right, these compounds, the alkyl group connected to the lithium, both of those R groups, right, from two compounds bind to our copper and our iodine leaves. All right. And so this compound right here, this entire part, gets a negative charge, and the lithium has a positive charge, and so they balance each other out. Now the next step, let me just move this stuff over. Now the next step, we have to react it with another carbon chain, right? We're going to try to connect this R group. We've got to connect it to something, right? And so we're going to have, again, another R group bound to some halogen X. Doesn't really matter. All right, and so what is this R group going to be? The R group in green can be a primary alkyl group, an aryl group, or vinyl. All right, and so what happens is the red R group and the green R group connect to each other. And just be careful, even though in our copper we have two of those R groups bound, only one of them connects to that green R group. My mistake, like that. And the side product is going to be our copper bound to that X right here, another halogen, and the other R group, right? So if I label, let's say this R group number 1, this one number 2, number 1 would have bound right there, and this is number 2. Okay, so let's go through an example of how we can use this organocuprates. So the first thing is we have to synthesize this alkyl group connected to a lithium, right? Now you guys have seen this before. Usually we use a bromine and we just add lithium. So I'm going to have this chain with lithium. So all you're going to do is replace the Br and you have your Li. So what I'm going to do, just to make sure we have everything in order, I'm going to number the carbons. So we have 4 total so far. Always a good habit to get into. So now that we have our lithium compound, primary alkyl group, we need to react it with copper with iodine, CuI. And what we're going to get now is our copper with those 2 carbon chains. Now remember, we bind it to 2 R groups. So it's going to look kind of like this. Drew that badly. And let me just move this over. And let's number our carbons. So on our carbon chain, we had 4 carbons, so we should have the same here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Checks out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Checks out. All right. Remember, there are 2 of them. Now what we have to do is react it with our compound, right? This group right here, the green R group bound to that halogen. So we can use either primary alkyl groups, aryl groups, or vinyl groups. So I'm going to use a benzene, right? So like these organometallic reactions can do some weird things. So try to get you used to seeing different types of reactions. I'm going to put a Br as my halogen. Now what happens is we connect one of the carbon chains connected to the copper to the carbon of that halogen. So if I labeled it on the benzene, our halogen is right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the carbon chain right here. I'll pick either one of them, they're all the same, and bind that to that purple carbon. So I have 4 carbons in my chain, so I need to connect 4 carbons to my benzene. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is that carbon right there. And let's number to make sure everything works out. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? And so in this case, we got this carbon chain bound to our benzene, and this is the new bond we formed right there. We were able to get this new single bond, and so that's why these organocuprate reactions are really useful. Let's go through another example. So now let's have this compound. All right, I've got to form my organolithium. So put the lithium on, and again, always number your carbons. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So now we reacted with CuI, and we're going to get this compound. All right, our copper is going to be bound to these 2 of the R groups. All right, so we used another one of these molecules, and let's count again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to do a different type of reaction. Now let me use another primary alkyl group, like this guy. So we know that I'm going to connect one of the alkyl groups on the copper to that carbon of the halogen. So that's going to be this carbon here, and if I number this, since I've already used 1, 2, and 3, let's go 4 and 5. Okay, so I need to connect this carbon chain to carbons 4 and 5. Right, and so that's a total of 5 carbons. So I'm going to draw a 5 carbon chain. So if I numbered it, I'd get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have our new carbon chain. So you see we formed this single bond between that 3 and 4. All right, so these are extremely useful reactions, like I said, because the whole point is they can make these single bonds. So we can form these, we can form compounds you guys have not been able to synthesize yet. Like you see, I formed this benzene with an alkyl group. All right, you could have done obviously something like Friedel-Crafts, but we can do it this other method as well. And now we've also been able to form single bonds between 2 carbon chains. All right, and so that's it for the organocuprates. Hopefully not too bad. All right, but definitely try to practice this reaction and go over to the CLC if you're a little bit stuck. All right, see you guys in the next video.